Okay. Hi, Andy. I want to interview you about this quality control test. Can you talk more about Young Living's control test?
Yes, so our quality control lab is located in our warehouse down in Spanish Fort. And within our lab, we do all of these tests here on our products that come through Young Living. So anything that Young Living sells comes through our lab down here. And then depending on the product, you get a variety of these tests as it comes through. So we have a walkthrough here.
Okay.
That kind of explains a lot about these tests here. So the FTIR here, this is one we use for identification. So we'll put an oil on this instrument, it'll pass an infrared light through it, and that'll give us a spectra. That spectra will look similar to this here. And then this spectra is compared to a standard that we have in our library that we've built over 20, 30 years of collecting data. When that happens, that spectra is compared, and then we get a result out, and based on that result, we can tell if the oil is what our vendor says it is, or what we bottled, versus it's not matching exactly what we needed.
So what kind of spectra? Oh, lights?
Yep, so this is an infrared spectra.
Okay.
So it uses infrared light. And when infrared light hits molecules, they'll bend, stretch, flex, do all sorts of different things. And what these peaks are those molecules bending and stretching.
Oh.
And so this is what I like to call the bird's eye view of an oil. So we look at the different components within the oil, but not the specific molecules within it.
Oh, wow. And so it's kind of like when light goes through a pyramid, like a crystal pyramid. Prism, yes, prism. Okay, and it reflects a rainbow splits, right?
So a little bit like that, but this is using infrared light, which basically excites the molecules' bonds.
Right.
So then they do the vibrating or stretching. So it doesn't split the light, it just absorbs that energy and acts in a certain way depending on the type of bond.
So they vibrate differently.
Yeah. So like a carbon-carbon bond will vibrate differently than a carbon-oxygen bond.
Ooh, okay. I think I need some time to explore. Okay. So what is this?
Organoleptic testing is testing that's done with your senses. So eyes, nose, mouth, ears. So organo meaning organ.
Oh, okay.
So organoleptic testing. Some of the testing that we do is aroma testing. So we have ampules that have standards. This one's empty right now. We'll put standard in here, and when we receive a new lot of oil, we'll compare that oil to the standard that we have in this sample. And then we keep these ampules, they're good for anywhere from 6 months to a year, the standard inside of it. So some of the other testing we'll do is visual, so color is very important, as well as is the oil cloudy, is it clear? And so those are some of the testing we do for organoleptic. Does it look like it's supposed to look like? What it's supposed to look like? Does it smell like it's supposed to smell?
So is there a machine to do that?
This is all done just by
human. Really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Even taste.
Yep.
So you need to acquire people with special taste buds.
Well, it's a lot done through just training.
Yeah.
Like this is how this should taste. This is how it shouldn't taste. So just over time, our analysts have learned the different aspects of that.
Yeah, because I know some brands like Nestle, they have tasters, right? So they professionally taste the food and drinks, the products, right?
So our analysts will taste our products that come from the
Wow. And how do you test the sight? Oh, the colors? Or?
Yeah, so the color and then appearance. So how does it appear? Is it clear? Is it cloudy?
Oh, I see. And how about touch?
So we do have a few products with texture on them. So they'll just take it and they'll rub it between their fingers.
What kind of products would require that?
One was, I want to say lip scrub to make sure that it was grainy, made sure it had the salt in there. So there's not very many that we do texture on.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Ooh.
Yes.
What is it? Legal test, organ test.
So these tests here represent some of the physical properties that our oils have. Specific gravity, refractive index, and optical rotation.
Can you tell me more about it?
Specific gravity is basically the density of the oil.
So not necessarily the weight.
So it's kind of like the weight. So it's how many grams per mil does a...
so it's the density.
Yeah, the density of the oil. And a lot of times if something's been adulterated with like a carrier oil or something like that,
so it's different. I see.
So that's one test we run to make sure that it's meeting our specifications. Refractive index is basically how does light bend as it goes through the oil.
Yeah. So it's like the prism.
Yes, this is more like the prism. Like if you take a knife, put it in a bowl of water, it looks like you bent the knife. You pull it out, it's straight.
Right.
That's what we're looking at here. The oils bend light at different angles, or angles I guess is the best way to put it. So it'll give us a reading on that. And again, if something's been adulterated, these numbers change. And then optical rotation, which is what this instrument here tests for, is this, we'll take oil, we'll put it inside this cell here. I'll open that so you can... And then this will go inside the instrument here. And then this is temperature controlled inside here.
Okay.
So it's run at a certain temperature, and then we pass a beam of light through it. And then that light will rotate either positively or negatively based on the oil.
By positively and negatively?
So if you look at a number line, basically like a 360-degree circle, when the light goes through at this angle, it'll rotate up or rotate down. Based on how we're sending it through. So we'll measure that, and each oil again has its own set standard for the optical rotation. And again, if it's a bit adulterated, it can affect how that rotation happens.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, this is, I'm more familiar with this. We always talk about this.
Yes, so gas chromatography, this is something that you've probably heard a lot in talks and everything. So basically what it is inside our instruments, there's this coiled column is what we call it. And this is a 30-meter column. We use 60 meters to test our products. Sometimes people think, well, how do you fit 60 meters inside of a little tiny box? We wrap it in a coil. So gas chromatography is used to look at the specific components within the oil. So it spreads those components out over time. And then when they come off, we can see if they're there in the right quantity. So gas chromatography is talked a lot about for essential oils because it's how we see those different constituents within the oil. And all of our oils get them.
Okay. ICP.
Yes.
It's not our ICP.
No, this is not the ICP product. This is for inductively coupled plasma. Basically, if you've been down to our warehouse and taken a tour of our QC lab there, we have 3 big instruments that do this test. And what happens is, within these instruments, there's a plasma that's produced. That plasma is at about 6,000 degrees Celsius, about the surface of the sun.
Wow.
So what happens is we'll take our samples, we'll break them down using concentrated acids. And the best way I can describe this is if you take like Wolfberry Crisp Bar or a Sleek Bar or something like that, and we run it through this process, we get a clear liquid out the other end. So it breaks that material down. And And then we take that and we can run it through these instruments. And these instruments are used to look for metals and minerals. So we have two different types that we run it. One is the OES, which means optical emission spectroscopy. And that one we use for things like potassium, sodium, magnesium, things in high volume within our products. The mass spectrometer looks for very low level metals within our products. Contaminant metals like arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury. So that one actually has a detection limit down to about 0.1 part per billion. And to kind of visualize that is if I took half a drop of mercury, put it into an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Oh, this is the one.
Mix it up, I could still see that mercury. So it can detect very low levels. But we also do use it for things like in our Balance Complete. Selenium is in there at a very low level. That's what our RMS is used for as well.
What is selenium? It's a kind of...
It's a metal.
Oh. But why would selenium be found?
Selenium has some nutritional value to it. It's used in some of the processes within your body.
So you want it in...
That's what you would want.
Ah.
But arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury are ones you...
Yes. I see.
So each batch you do 4 batches?
Yep, every batch that comes through.
Batches.
Yep.
Wait.
Our ultra-high performance liquid chromatography. So this performs much like the gas chromatography, except this uses liquid instead of gas. And the columns are much smaller. So this
Shorter.
is one of the columns that we use in our UHPLCs.
Oh, okay.
So what our UHPLCs are used for active ingredients like vitamins and other actives like that within our products. So when we get Super B in, we'll test it on this instrument to look for all the B vitamins that are in that product to make sure they're there in the right quantities. The chromatograms look very similar to a GC, again with those just coming off at different time points.
So this is not to test on essential oils, but
nutritional products.
Supplements.
Yeah, supplements.
Ah, okay.
Yep, we're looking for those larger molecules that don't pass through a GC very well. They pass through our LC much better. And then onto our microbiology. So our products are tested to make sure that they are clean, and that's done through our microbiology lab. What they look for are different bacterias to make sure that they're not growing in our products. Kind of their job in the micro lab is to give bacteria the best conditions to grow in. So we send them on a cruise, is the best way to put it. Good food, nice weather. We give them anything they need, so if they are there, they do grow and we do find them.
So does it mean Life9 or?
So Life9 will actually test for the probiotics in there as well.
But what else?
So we'll look for pathogens like Salmonella, E. coli, Pseudomonas.
In our products?
In the products.
Oh.
Yeah. To make sure that they are not there.
I see. So it's mostly for supplements, maybe?
It's for everything we do.
Even essential oils.
Yep.
And personal care products and everything. Oh.
Yep, personal care, all those.
But why would you send them on a cruise if you don't want them in?
Because if they are there, we want to make sure we find them. So if we give them everything they need to grow and nothing grows, we know it's not present.
Oh, I see.
So that's why we put everything on a cruise. If nothing grows, we know we're okay.
So what is like a cruise to like a very heated environment or what?
So this is kind of like the food here. This is a Petri dish. And so this material in there probably see better, has nutrients that the bacteria love. And so the bacteria will eat it and grow, proliferate, grow more, and then we'll be able to see them on the plates. So that's the food part. And these Petri dishes will go into an incubator set at a certain temperature depending on what we're looking for. So it gives them the heat they need at the optimal temperature that they're looking for.
Interesting. And last but not least,
yes.
What is this?
So our quality control lab is currently going through an ISO accreditation.
So usually I've heard ISO 9001.
Yeah, so ISO 9001 looks at a company's overall computer systems, everything like that. ISO 17025 looks at test methods within a laboratory. So
any kind of laboratory.
Any kind of laboratory. So we're pursuing this because we hear a lot of, well, our competitors send out to a third-party lab, so it's impartial. It's not influenced by the parent company. This is the accreditation that they send it to. So with this accreditation to our laboratory, it'll show that our internal laboratory is impartial in our results. We're not influenced by Young Living in any way to change our results, to do anything with our results.
Yeah.
But it'll also show that we follow our test methods are validated, and that what we are doing within our lab falls into the ISO standard. So it'll give us a good feather in our cap to say our lab meets the same requirements as the third party. So we're currently going through that. Hopefully we'll get that finished up here by September.
Ooh.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Yep.